Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. First of all, I have to say that I am a member of the International Board. I am not the director, so I apologize for this mistake. I am going to speak about the forum of the European chapters working into BuildingSMART International. I am not going to spend too much time about myself. Anyway, I am a retired researcher that has founded a BIM community in Italy in 2015, and since 2019, we are the Italian chapter of BuildingSMART. So we represent the bridge among the national and international community. I want to tell you why we have this forum, because I have been working in a research center on all the policy that the European community has regarding the sustainability. And I feel that the directives give us the wind to really go to the sustainability. But the situation is that right now, the majority of the company, they do not sail through the sustainability because they have a lot of beliefs that make them stuck just in the beginning of this trip. These beliefs are related to the fact that they do not want to change because they believe that the standards are too complicated and the European Commission is just make too many constraints and so on. But the standards, I think, are the real tool to make the building industry really digital and to have a revolution. I compare the revolution that we had about the Industrial Revolution, mechanical revolution, where everybody was using his own bolt and screw and nuts, and only when this was standardized, we could have the assembly lines, and so the industrialization arrived. And now in BIM, we need to have the same language. So it's like having the same screw and nut assemblies. Because only if we have the same language, and I have seen in the last two presentations, and this was already said, only in this way we can really share the information through all the supply chain. So why is important the BuildingSMART community? Because we start from the requirements of stakeholder. So it's all our process comes before the standardization. So we start from the needs of the clients, of the supplier, of the companies. We find a solution, we as a community, we find a solution, and then this solution is translated into standards that are used by software. So it's, but the standard world is quite complex. This is just a small vision on what is really inside of the standardization, because there are a lot of committee, subcommittee, at ISO level, at CEN level, at the national level. And BuildingSMART is just facilitating the communication among all these experts in order to obtain standards that are really useful for the market. Why the standards are important for the European Commission is because usually what happens that we have directives that need to be implemented into national laws. Usually they take 2 or 3 years to be implemented. And the same happens for the standards. that they are implemented as national standards, but it takes some time. And but if a standard is if a directive nominates some standards, then all the European countries are obliged to use the same standards. So what it means that usually from BuildingSMART to a national standard, it takes between 3 and 5 years. So if we work within BuildingSMART, we can anticipate the process, the standardization process, at much easier. So the companies, especially multinational companies, will have the same standards, will need to use the same standard instead of using different standards at the national, European, and international level. So it's really strategic to work into BuildingSMART because we can anticipate the market needs. But this is not, using the standard is not enough. And because it's like having the wind and you do not have any more the anchor, the beliefs that stop you to travel. But if you don't speak with all the supply chain, you still are not moving too far. So speaking in the supply chain, I give you a very simple example of a building where you can share the IFC file with someone that is expert of the conditioning plant or the photovoltaic plant or the green wall or some materials about the building, because only if you consider all these things all together in a federated model, you can really obtain a sustainable building, because otherwise the architect will continue to build the building and the model in the same way. They will not consider using, for instance, wood instead of concrete or stones or things like that. So why we decide for this forum, and so I reach my point, is that within the BuildingSMART community, we have 17 European chapters out of 30 chapters, and we have, of course, the same vision as BuildingSMART has, but we have the opportunities, being in Europe, to have also some financial opportunities, because there are projects that are funded for the sustainability, for digitalization, and so on. So we decided to put all together our effort so that if Italy, France, or Sweden as a project, they can share the results, so the deliverable, for the benefit not only of Europe, but of the whole BuildingSMART community. So it means that we can really speed up the process of implementing the standard at international level. So in a few words, the chapters forum will strengthen the presence of the chapter expert in the standardization body at the national, European, and international level. So we can speed up the digitalization of building industry in Europe. And we aim to become the technical body of what is the group is called the EU BIM Task Group, which is a group that is the union of all the European countries, but they are political representatives, and they make the policy for the digitalization of building industry. But they do not have expertise on standardization. So we want to help them to do the right things when dealing with the directives. And the same is for European Commission. We would like to inspire them in founding projects that will bring a benefit to all Europe. And as I said, we decided to share all what we have already done. So in the end, some cartoons. So here, everybody say that want to change, but I think that we need to change ourselves. So there is very little cooperation among the supply chain. So we need really to improve that. But if we have the same language, that will become easier. So that's the first step. But then it's the person that needs to do it. And then this last one is, I don't know if you know the syndrome of boiled frog, that there is a change. We can assist to this change, and but people think that they can still resist. And the story is that the frog can get boiled because they think that they can still afford the heating. So, so I think that we are still in time to jump out of the boiling pan and joining the BuildingSMART community so that we can have better performance standards to develop, to have a real sustainable built environment. These are my contacts if you want to know something more. Thank you.